You've got 6.
Hey, everybody! Coming to you live finally from the woods. It's almost nightfall, but not quite yet.
And we are still alive for now.
Yes. How are y'all doing? Oh, I didn't hook my mic up. You know what's going to happen? My phone is going to start overheating.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, that'll give people a chance to get in here anyway, because there's some that had to leave and they'll come back. So
Yes. Get in here, people. We want to talk with you.
Pam is saying yes.
Yes, tell me what people are saying while I hook up my mic here so we don't.
Hello, Pam. Thank you for joining us. And Rhonda, hello to you too. Thank you for joining as well. Glad to have you on board.
All right, testing. Tell me how audio is.
And Pam says she didn't leave.
She did not leave. She is a loyal, retromantic follower, and I appreciate that very much. How's audio? I just plugged in my mic. Want to make sure it's coming through loud and clear. Look at you. You're all ready.
I'm ready to roll.
He's ready to go. He's got his headlamp on. Sounds good, says Rhonda.
Yep.
Thank you, Rhonda.
And thank you, Pam. I appreciate that. Says she subbed to me also, so that's cool.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Yes, we appreciate that. So how's everybody doing tonight? As you can see from our little ticker at the bottom, no turning back.
Not now.
Nope.
We are out in the middle of nowhere, but nowhere near is in the middle of nowhere as we're going to be in a few minutes.
We actually are able to come to you from the woods right now because there is a cell phone tower like right here. So I have awesome signal, like way better than I have when I go out somewhere, and way, way better than when I'm at home.
Yeah, what happened was I told the cell phone carriers that we were going to be doing a live stream from here. We need a tower over there, so they got to
They came through.
They came through.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate it.
They're sub to us.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. No, but this is where the signal is, but as soon as we start heading back into the woods, is that the right way?
Yes. Back that way.
We are going to be out of signal. We're going to be in a place where no cars go, no people go, and if something were to go wrong, well, I don't know what we're going to do because we have no cell phone signal at all. So I guess if you fall and break your leg, I'll just put you on my back and hike back out again, right?
Yeah, which means I better be nice to you and cut the wisecracks. I know.
Yeah.
No, in this situation, we depend on each other. We've been back here several times with no issues, but never been back here at night. So it's a different world. I've been back here at night with John Spike before, and it is a completely different world. So we'll have to be more careful.
Hi, Carolyn.
More precautions have been taken. So
yes, we do know the area somewhat. So like you said, it'll be different looking at night, after dark, after night falls, and being dramatic.
With no moon tonight.
Yes, there's not supposed to be a moon, so it's
just a little bit of crescent, not enough to matter.
Yes, this is the same place as before. I did a series, well, we both did a series on the abandoned youth camp way back deep in the Georgia woods. Mm-hmm. And that is where we're going tonight. You know, we've been there many times before, but never overnight. So it's kind of a new experience or a new challenge for us. And the reason why we're doing it, besides just because we like to live dangerously, is because we want to investigate the 6 buildings that are back there. And we're going to need all the time that we get overnight is how we're going to do it.
Yeah, we've never done all 6. We've just done the 1, and that's it. And we've been talking about this forever to go back and do all 6 of them to see what kind of activity we can get. Anybody that's here that may follow my channel, the first place out here, I'm not going to jump on the paranormal bandwagon and say that what it was, but first time I came back here and saw that house, I was headed towards it, the little log house, and a soda can somehow dropped out of the top of a very tall tree. Now I never saw it, never found it, but you know what a sound of an empty soda can would make hitting branches, and it hit lots of branches on the way down.
Could it
And
have been a cheeky squirrel?
I don't know. I first thought that somebody may have thrown it up there, but throwing an empty soda can, you can't throw those very far. So I went to the road, nobody there, and I didn't figure there's anybody there. Never found the can. I did catch it on video, and that was just an unexplained occurrence. I don't know. I have no idea. So maybe that's going to be one of many occurrences that we have tonight, because, as Retro said, we have never investigated all 6 of them, just the big cedar house, and that's it.
Right. So tonight's the night. Yes, we are filming. We will be filming. I mean, we'll be ending the live stream because we can't do anything live back there without a signal, but we will be filming as much as we can unless the spirits decide to drain our power.
And that happened when she and I were doing an investigation. This happened at the big cedar house, where the activity had been. She had what was it, a little audio recorder? Was that what that was? And it was fully charged, when she left the house. And that later that same day, she picked it up, and it was so dead it wouldn't even light the light on it.
That one never worked again after that.
Wow. I don't know if I want to hang with you. No, I'm kidding. Hanging with you might be dangerous. Spirits don't like it.
Well,
no. But
last weekend I had a different recorder at the silo farm place I was at last weekend. I had a different recorder, and that one didn't work either. None of the battery. I kept switching out the batteries. The light on it would flicker a little bit, like it had a little bit of power, but it was really drained.
Wow.
Even though I checked it right before I came, I tested it a million times, and then I would put in different batteries, same thing. And then when I got home, I put in a fresh pair of batteries, and it worked just fine. So I brought that one tonight. So we'll see if it works here.
Hope so, but we'll see. I'll try my audio recorder on my phone, see what that does as well. We have several methods for everything, and I've got some new equipment that I got in the other day that I've never used, that I wanted to. Got a REM pod finally, and finally got some cat balls finally. And I hadn't had them, just the Ghost Tube app, and that was basically it. But I've also got an EMF meter, and it's not the K2 meter that you normally see. I wanted to get something different, so that if we do get activity on K2 meter, she has one, then we could show type of activity on the other one and make comparisons. And plus, the EMF meter that I got shows the ambient air temperature around it. So if the temperature starts dropping, we can show everybody.
Yes. So we, like he said, we haven't really investigated in any of the houses except for the big cedar house.
That's it.
And we did, I wouldn't say it was overwhelmingly crazy, but we did have some things happen. And the one thing that sticks to mind with me the most is the door slam.
Yes, that was classic. That was, she closed the door behind us, and when we're upstairs, it went bam, just like that, and the house is kind of down in a somewhat of a valley, so it doesn't get much wind. There's only a very light breeze blowing, but the door is a big, thick door made out of cedar. It's about 6 inches thick, and it's also inside what you call maybe like a little foyer built onto the end of the house inside. So it would take some major wind to have done this with the door shut and slammed as loud as it did.
Yeah, I thought
it open only about halfway, because it won't open beyond that, and then slam.
I thought it was wind at first, and you have to rule everything out.
Yeah.
You don't want to just be like ghosts, woo, for every little thing. You've got to rule out what it might be first. Yes. So we went down there, and we were just like messing with the door and trying to like see if we could slam it and how much effort it would take, and looking for wind and just all kinds of stuff.
And
it was like, and that door is like stuck. It's like you can close it, but it's like there's a place where it gets stuck in a rut too. Like,
yeah, you can't latch it.
Yeah, so
and we were looking for people too. So if somebody had come back, now we're so far back here that nobody's going to walk that far, really.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be on a four-wheeler or something, and we would have heard them coming, most likely. But even if somebody was hiking back through there and decided to mess with us, the one thing, when we went outside, we were outside in less than 60 seconds, and there was a bird that was maybe about 15 feet to my left that flew up and almost hit me. And that told me that there hadn't been anybody there. Otherwise, the bird would have been gone. So we ruled out people. We ruled out wind for two reasons. One, wind can't get to the house, really. It's just a very light breeze. Plus, the door is inside like I said, a little foyer area. And also, um, the force that it would take. I mean, there's just too many things. If we had wind that strong to do that to that door, we wouldn't have been worried about any paranormal investigation.
But of course, I wasn't rolling at the time.
Yes, and I had a second camera that I brought it along to use as a static camera. So guess where it was? It was upstairs with us. And I was like, great. But fortunately, my camera was running and it caught the audio of it. And so at least we got that much. But I kicked myself from one side and down the other for not having my static camera running downstairs to catch it.
I remember I was sitting on the floor and I heard that, and in my face I just went
Yeah,
like I was like frozen solid, like just like what the heck.
yeah, the only thing you said was that was the door, that was the front door.
Yeah,
And just to make sure that it wasn't somebody, I went down far enough to see, and there's nobody there.
well,
And then we both went.
do you remember that I set up my camera after that?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, this is a little hazy in my mind because, well, I never uploaded the footage. As many of you know, I have a rather large backlog. But on the same day, I did set up my camera. I just left it rolling and just staring at the front door as if it's going to slam exactly like that again. Of course, it did not. But I was asking questions. I don't know if you remember any of this, but I was asking questions and I was saying, hey, like, can you let us know that you're here? Can you shut that door again? And then I'm like, okay, well, maybe you don't want to be watched. I'm going to head on upstairs. And the way the stairs go up, you can see feet going up the side because it's like, it's open right there. And so my feet are going up the stairs and you can see them right at the top. And as soon as I get to the top, as if to mock me, the door shuts. Yes. Now slowly, not a slam, not anything crazy, but you can see the light shining through and then the door slowly goes like that.
Yes.
As if to say, she's gone, I'm going to do it now. Haha.
Yeah, she showed me the footage and the door definitely did move. And once again, no wind. And it would take a lot of wind to get in there in that foyer to do anything with that door, because the door, if I could show you all a picture of it, you would understand. The door is literally about 6 inches thick. It's made out of cedar. So it's not light. It takes a lot to move it. That was quite an experience that we had there. And plus, don't forget your drink can, how you aggravated one of them.
I was just going to say we had other experiences there as well. They weren't quite as dramatic as the door, but we had where I had accidentally like moved my backpack and I hit the walls are made of like down there they're like cinder block.
Yeah, the cinder block is it's actually part of the foundation of the house. And she had a
metal
an aluminum water container hanging on the backpack, and when it tapped the wall, K2 meter went off, and I mean went up to the yellow, and so this one wanting to be the aggravating thing,
Well, I wasn't trying to aggravate.
I know. I'm just messing with you. I'm just playing. She tapped on the wall, K2 meter went off again. Tapped on it again, it went off again to the same place, up to the yellow every single time, about 3 or 4 times every time. And there's no power lines back here to these houses. When the youth camp was operating, the houses are wired, but they had to use generators because there are no power poles. There are no remains of any power service back here. And it's so far back here, there have been poles all out through here for miles, and there's none. So that wasn't activating her K2, and it coincided with her banging on the...
Yeah, our equipment was in the exact, because equipment can set off the K2 if you get your recorders too close and whatnot. We were in the same spot, as we hadn't like moved closer to it with our camera or anything like that. It was the exact same spot where we were asking, and it was doing nothing. It didn't, all I did was twist my body a little bit. And as soon as it heard that, it was like a reverberation sound too. It was like it kept responding to that, which was weird.
Yeah, our cameras were nowhere close to it. If I remember right, I think your K2 meter was on that table down there towards the center of the table, maybe 2 or 3 feet from us, at least a couple of feet from us. And so it wasn't any of our equipment, and it's coincide every time she banged that cup on the wall, it would go off, and not any other time.
Yeah.
And so that was crazy.
We had some other things come through on the, what, I don't know what we were using. Like, was it Ghost Tube? Is that the one that is like a spirit box?
Yes.
What was I gonna say? Oh, it said, well, this was this, I don't think this was when I was with you. When did you get the story about someone being pushed down the stairs?
When John, Spike, and I were here, it came through on his necrophonic app, and it was pretty clear. And I've forgotten the name. There was a name that went with it, but it was somebody pushed down the stairs.
Yeah, so this, this is a youth camp, so there could have been some kerfluffle that happened between the kids that were there, but it was talking about someone being pushed down the stairs, so we're wondering if something happened like that. And then when I was with you and we had the ghost tube going, we get tickled with this one and we think it's funny, so gotta say it again. But it kept saying Kevin randomly.
Yes.
And we have a friend named Kevin, and some of you are familiar with his channel, Kevin the Custodian Ghost Hunter. So it just kept saying Kevin, and we were like, oh, maybe like it wants Kevin to come here and investigate. So next time we go out, Kevin's going to be with us, I think.
Yes, Kevin, if you're watching and just haven't commented, you have been summoned.
Yes. They thought that was funny. Maybe
it was, and it was.
Maybe it thought he was more professional and wanted to communicate through him,
Well, you're the one banging the wall down there. So.
Yeah, he does stuff by the book. So I'm just like, let me bang this water bottle and see if anything happens. No. But speaking of interesting methods, I'm actually going to go to the comments for a minute because I see some people saying things.
Yeah, I was saying.
But in a minute, I'm going to show you some things that I brought with me that I will be utilizing on our adventure tonight that are kind of interesting and very retromantic themed. So we'll get to that in a second. But I want to go back a second. Carol Ann says she couldn't explore in the dark. She'd be afraid someone would jump out at me. Well, back where we're going, we are a little afraid of bears maybe jumping out at us, but there's no people back there.
No, we've never run into anybody. We've seen evidence of people having been back there, but like I said, it's so far back.
And we don't know how old that is either,
people use Jeeps. We've seen Jeeps come back here.
But they don't go as far back as we're going, though. They're only at like the...
They go about as far as the creek where people, there's a little area where people like to camp. But four-wheelers or something, like we said before, nobody walks as far as we do. So it would be highly, highly, highly unlikely that we'd run into another soul back here. And there's nothing else back here. This is thousands of acres of national forest back here, literally thousands. The nearest town is back that way. To the left about 15 miles, to the right about 20 miles. This way, we're talking North Carolina. So it's thousands of acres of land. There's nothing back here, nobody. So I don't think that would be a problem.
But we might have some spirits jump out at us.
Yeah, well, hope not.
Time will tell. Oh my, Retro, I thought aliens had abducted you, like in general or just tonight? Because I haven't posted much lately. That's kind of the same thing. I'm really busy with my job, but I am editing a few videos. I'm editing more than one right now, so we'll just kind of see which one I get done with first. But I have some things in the works. I have some older videos I want to put out, but I also have some current ones. So you will see those coming up. If you're speaking of tonight, We actually, nobody reads what I put in, not to get on you folks, but I put in the video in this live stream description that the live stream is subject to change. I wasn't quite sure 6 o'clock was going to be the time or not, so nobody needed to worry. They might have been worried that we'd already started out into the woods and we were just
I think that's
gone.
probably what it was. And we would have been on time. Actually, we would have been live streaming at 6 o'clock, but
yes,
there are some unforeseen
we
circumstances.
we did not have technical difficulties. Everything has been going perfectly. I had to my mom called and basically we've got some things going on in the family, so I needed to talk to her before I went live. That's all it was. So
real life.
Yeah,
and real life is more important. So we just stopped and so she could handle things and take care of it.
That's
it
all
took
it was.
a while, and
I wasn't sure anyway what time we were going to start, because I didn't know when we were going to find our place, when we were going to get set up and all that. So it was a tentative, or like a TBD, to be determined time kind of thing. But we're here now, and it's
plus or minus 3 hours.
Yeah, 3 hours. It was only 1 hour.
I need to quit. She brought a shovel. If two of us go in and one of us comes out, then well, that means I made one wisecrack too many.
I did not bring a shovel. Maybe I should though. Like, what if I have to go number 2 in the woods?
Oh Lordy, you would have to bring that up in front of everybody. Oh yeah, now let's talk toilets.
Come in handy for that,
Actually, we're
roughing it.
What, the first place? We have an outhouse at the first place we're going to.
Yeah, but once we go farther, that place is too far away. All right, let's see. Speak of the devil. Kevin, the custodian ghost hunter, is here. We were just talking about you.
Yeah, his ears started burning is what it was.
Yeah, you'll have to go back and see what we said.
That's right.
Christine said, as long as you're here now, no worries. Yes. And I also see a comment from Carol Ann. Do you remember when you were at an abandoned motel and a cat jumped up in the window? Yes. I think I can safely say we both remember that, because speaking of number 2, that scared the you-know-what out of us. That had nothing to do with like paranormal or other people or the fact that we were in a crack house, but that cat and the noises that it was making and how freaky the place we were in was, when we started hearing that, I was scared. You can hear it in my voice on the video. I'm like, I hear something, and you're like, I do too. And then that cat jumped up, and we're both like, oh,
it was crap. A very sketchy place to start with, and we've been there for probably an hour or so when the cat did that. And come to find out, her hunch was correct at the beginning of the video, and I don't know if you included it in yours or not, but it's in mine, where the very first building we went into, which was the office, and you said, I feel like we're being watched. Well, when I got into editing my video, we were. She was exactly right. When I was doing my outro, we were both in the building where the housekeeping was. There was a washing machine, dryer in there. If you wear headphones, you can hear talking right outside the door. And the thing of it is that there had to be people there. Some of the doors to the places were locked, and so we were being watched, no doubt. And fortunately for us, the people left us alone. And I really think it was, I was thinking about that this afternoon and thinking that that was probably largely in part to the culture, because that culture in that area is very laid back and pretty much live, and they left us alone. But there were people there. And so she was exactly right with her feelings.
Still the sketchiest place, I think.
It was. And that's why it set us so on edge when we heard the noises coming in the back door of the little cottage that we were in, and we thought somebody was coming in on us. So,
and I think I told you, but that place, they have started tearing it down since then, because I drove by there the other day, and about half of the cabins were torn down. So they're probably all torn down now, because that was like in the summer, like a month or more ago.
It's probably because the river flooded. A few weeks before that, remember I told you the river flooded real bad there, and flooded a large part of town there, and the river ran right by this place, so there's no doubt there was a lot of damage to it.
Yeah.
It was totally trashed anyway. Some of the cottages may have been salvageable. I don't know. So after the flood, then they probably just wrote it off as a total loss and just leveled it. So.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it's still it's cool. I know it was a sketchy explore, but I'm glad we got to document it because it is probably gone now.
Yes,
and that's
no
a big
doubt.
part of what we do is document what things from the past that may not be here in the future. So Smoky Mountain, what was it? Smoky Mountain Cabins or whatever.
And one thing I meant to tell you, did you notice how they misspelled Smoky on the sign?
Well, they spell it both ways.
They smelled it too.
They do it with the E and with just the Y. I see both ways.
Well, EY is the bear. Smoky is Smoky as in Smoky Mountains.
Yeah.
SMOKY.
Well,
but you know, as it may, you know, probably smelled it too. Smelled smoke, you know.
Yeah. But that place was probably a cute little place in its heyday, though. I mean, it was probably a popular little spot for families or whatever, and
picnic tables out back, right by the river. I mean, just beautiful location.
The picnic tables were scary though when we looked at them. They had drug paraphernalia.
The grass was scary.
Yeah, everything was scary. Remember that briefcase that was just open with like pill containers in it?
And then in the purple street light back there.
What is and that? The powder, the table that was covered with powder.
Yes, covered lots
and
of powder.
Trash. That room had like trash up to your knees. It was so insane.
And don't forget the buckets.
Number 2 again. How many times are we going to talk about number 2? Yes, there were buckets of human excrement there. Very classy explorer. The classiest one we've done.
Yes, it was. It's total class.
Don, hello. Gail is saying hello as well. Kevin loved to go to this location. Do you mean you would love to go to this abandoned youth camp? Because we definitely want to have you out here.
Yeah, Kevin, you don't have a choice. You've been summoned here, so you're coming here.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, you have to. We have said, and you're outvoted 2-1.
All right, so the place that we are going, it was a camp for troubled youth, probably 70s to mid 90s. I think that's
you know more about it. I couldn't find anything on this.
There's literally nothing about this online. There's a Reddit thread where some people seem to know a little bit about it, or they've been back here, or maybe they knew someone who went here, but it's just the information is so vague.
Yeah, she's the only one that found anything at all about it. I found nothing, and I scoured the internet. I mean, it's almost, I was telling her this afternoon, it's almost like the internet was purposely scrubbed of any information about this place. We can't even determine what the name of it was. I mean, nothing about it. I mean, it's like it never existed.
Yeah, usually you can find at least a little something about most old locations. And really this one, it's just, we've come up dry with, you know, we know dates because you can tell like kind of when the buildings were made. They've got 70s aesthetic or whatever you want to call it, or building materials and just different styles. And some of the furniture is left behind. In that one youth bunk place, they have the 70s couch with the
console TV,
bald eagle stuff on it, the bicentennial sofa or whatever it was for that year is in there, and the old TV. But then you also see dates on paperwork, and well, not paperwork that would give you any info, but there's calendars, and there's a couple little things that really didn't say much but had dates, and the dates went to like, I think we saw as late as 99 though. I think we saw 99 on something, but that might not have been. Didn't we see that in the little cabin we thought might have been used as a hunting cabin? So it could have been later.
Yeah, it could have been, but that was only evidence of any date there was. So we're thinking 70s. Anyway, the console TV screams 70s. That was back when televisions were furniture. And one of the houses has that. the furniture, the couches and stuff are more like 80s. The patterns you saw, everybody had those. Everybody had these couches and stuff. But none of the information was left behind, which concerning kids, that would be
there. I said paperwork, but I didn't mean paperwork. There's like posters about first aid and like some calendars and stuff, but there's no like files. Like sometimes people show abandoned hospitals and there's just rooms of like files everywhere, nursing homes and all that. There's nothing like that there. There's no information on any people or kids who stayed there at all. It's all been wiped clean. So, or they took it all with them. So
yeah, and they should have, because that information is very confidential. But the weird thing is, usually there is some type of paperwork that is left behind in places that at least tell you what the place was. There's something administrative work, and there's zero. There's nothing.
So we don't have a name for it at all.
No, we don't.
But there is a sign that's up there for the area, like the Bear, what is it?
Bear Mountain.
Bear Mountain. There's a sign up there.
But there's no information. If you look it up under that, you'll find nothing other than that. You will learn that there are 327 mountains in Georgia named Bear Mountain. That's what you'll find.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was a hand-painted sign. Like somebody just, it wasn't like an official one. So that, I don't know, the place has a lot of mystery to it.
Yeah, Kevin, you're right, mysterious for sure.
And there's things that we can just ascertain by going through there. We can, because we'd been there several times, and then at the last time we were there, we were still discovering like things we hadn't seen. We saw that the ropes course platform.
Yes, you spotted that. I had been by it about 3 times and I never saw it, and you saw that. And the thing that struck me was that before they put the little bridge over it, getting up on that thing was hinky. They had the ladder was still there as a freestanding ladder, about a 6-foot freestanding ladder, and then they just had slats nailed up one of the support posts to the upper deck where the line went from. And I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
But there's a little bridge going across to it that they apparently put in later. But every time we went back, like she said, we found something. We think
we found all the buildings, but there were still like smaller discoveries we were making all around the area. So, let's see here. I've brought a bag of mysterious things. Did you hear that? Something's making a sound already.
We've already got stuff talking to us.
Yeah.
She brings stuff that talks to us. And we're going out here in the woods in the pitch black. No, this is interesting. She's already showed me what this is. This is some cool stuff. And for those of you that are into paranormal investigations, these can actually serve as what's called attractors. And since this was a youth camp for kids, makes perfect sense.
Yes. Now we think that the children who stayed here, the youth that stayed here, were a bit older, teenagers, but we did find some evidence that may lead us to believe, or could lead us to believe, that there were some younger, there's some toys and things there that would not have been for a teenager per se.
Yes.
Although like I just happen to think like if there was anyone there with developmental issues, they might have used those toys for younger kids. But we have found some things that don't seem like they would go along with teenagers. But you guys know me, I'm the retro romantic, and I like all things retro. And to me, ghost hunting, while I'm not a big ghost hunter, and I would never claim to be that, it's kind of just a little part of my channel, and I'm still learning and getting into it with some friends that I have who do it solely on their channel. But I do believe that ghost hunting is another way to reach the past. I'm going around, I like to go explore abandoned buildings because I like to get a peek into how things were in the past, or to just kind of make that connection. I like old toys because I like thinking about childhood and the past. I like the idea of communicating with spirits because they've passed on. They came before us. They can give us a window into the past the way that things or buildings can. They can in some cases give us more information because they can actually speak to us. And I just think that that's really cool. So I was wondering how I could combine, my love of retro things or retro toys and retro electronics with the ghost hunting experience or paranormal investigating. And this is nothing that hasn't been done before. I don't claim I have some new technique or anything like that, but I like to bring some older things with me. I brought a Walkman that you can play out loud. I've got some tape so I can actually record using the Walkman instead of digital. If I were to pick anything up, I have a converter so I can make it into a file and put it on the computer. But just to record analog, get that out there and do that. I also have cassette tapes I can put in and just play to see if we could maybe get a reaction from music. So that's another thing I plan to do. But today I have actually brought some toys along with me, and I'll show you some of them.
Well, before you get there, though, we got a couple of questions.
Oh, okay.
Let
me see. PNF, hello. I didn't get to say hello to you yet. Thank you for joining us. He says, how far are we from Toccoa?
I was just looking that up, and it's about what I thought. As a crow flies, we're about 75 miles from Toccoa. Now, by highway, it'd be further than that, but that's as a crow flies.
So how about GPS? Are you asking if GPS would work back here? I'm not sure what you're asking. Do you know?
No, if that's what, Caroline, if that's what you're asking, it's very spotty because we got mountain ridges on both sides of us to block any satellite signals. Satellites are not always overhead. As a matter of fact, on the East Coast, they seldom are, it seems like. Most are down low on the horizon or something. And triangulation from cell towers is not possible because we have zero cell service back here. So we're actually on our own completely back here. Once we go up the road from here, we'll drive as far as we can, which will be probably about another 3/4 of a mile, and we'll have to park. And then about 30 minutes after that, at the most, we'll be without service whatsoever.
Would it tell you what this place is? No.
Oh no! So I just went in a whole bunch of stuff that you weren't asking. Well, that's what you get for assuming.
No, there's no address. I mean, there's no, like, sometimes you put in an old address and it'll say closed for this old building that's shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But no, there's nothing.
Yeah, nothing. As a matter of fact, if you look on a map, it is nothing but national forest back here. Nothing shows up. Not on a map on Google Maps or anything like that. Nothing on GPS. I mean, it's just weird. There is nothing about this place. And that Reddit thread, as brief as it was, is all that Retro found.
I mean, they didn't know very much either. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't know anything about it either. I mean,
that's okay, Carol Ann. Like, we were just trying to figure out what you wanted to know.
Oh, not at all, Carol Ann. No need to apologize. I mean, it's cool. But this is weird. It's almost like, when I think about how the information seems to have been scrubbed, I'm thinking a secret military installation. I mean, seriously. Like the Nuclear Air Force Lab that you and I did a couple of years ago, back when we first met, which in 3 days we will have known each other for 2 years.
Yay!
So we're about to have an anniversary.
AE and Retromantic.
Retro and me.
AE our retro anniversary. Woohoo!
But for many years, nobody knew what went on out there, and that's almost like what this is. No information. It's like, okay, we're closing. Let's get rid of all the information.
We will be careful, Kevin. Kevin wants us to be careful, as does everyone, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Pam says, what about older maps?
Well, I don't have any maps of the national forest here. I actually used to, years ago, I used to hike just about every weekend. So I had, before cell phones and internet and GPS and all that, I had maps. And I have actually hiked back there. I used to hike back here quite frequently. Never knew it was back here. I would hike past the cutoff to it and go on back. People used to live down here. And if you saw the condition of the road, it was like, oh my goodness. But they all had Jeeps, and there was a reason for that. But there used to be about 5 or 6 houses down here back in the 90s. And I even tried that angle, trying to get information about the youth camp, and couldn't find anything about the houses. And she and I went on a scouting trip looking for the houses, which is what I was looking for to begin with. And the houses are gone, which is, I think what happened was that people vacated the houses one by one. And if you are building on Forest Service land, it is the policy that if you vacate the property, then it reverts back to them, and they come and demolish any structures and return the area to nature. We went a long way back, and I'm sure past where the houses were, and there's no sign of them now. So, and as many times as I've been hiking back here, I never knew this was back here. Nothing. There's no sign that it was back here at all. It was totally accidental on my part when I found the place, because I couldn't find it. Came to a guardrail, and I didn't think it was cut. There was a cutoff to the left because it was straight back here. Went up there to the left, and there was the first one. I thought, these weren't the houses that were people were living in. This is something else, and that's what started this whole thing. And I only found, I think, like 3 or 4 houses to start with. I didn't see the other 2 or 3. The first one I didn't see because you can't see it from just walking in, but eventually found all 6 of them coming back subsequent time. But it's just real weird. It's almost like a secret.
PNF says he thought of military too. Georgia was important decades ago, not sure about today.
It still is. The Army Rangers train over here around Blood Mountain and over in that area quite frequently. As a matter of fact, they don't close the hiking trails, and if you hike that area frequently, sooner or later you're going to run into groups of soldiers on survival training in there. And there's military aircraft flying overhead here all the time. The training camp over here is still, we're not near it, but over where I'm talking about is still there. So it is still an important training area for military. So you are correct about that.
Kevin says he doesn't want to ghost hunt us.
He doesn't want to ghost hunt us.
Meaning, let's not die out there.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, we have some pranks for you if you did.
I would definitely hunt you.
We would
Kevin.
Be like, hey, it's Kevin. Let's have some
just
fun.
Kidding.
We would hang out just for that. Just waiting for you to come down here.
Yeah. Okay.
Right,
so look, I brought some stuff. I brought some stuff to share. It's almost like the old days of my retro nightmare. Because I brought, like, look who I brought, you guys. Look how cute. I didn't bring Raggedy Ann like everybody likes to do. I brought Garfield. He's cute.
Cool. Garfield. Love Garfield.
Yes, let's see if he has a date on him. 1981. Good year. The year of my birth.
It was a very good year. Frank Sinatra.
So yes, so this is my attractor. I want to see if maybe I put this out, maybe some of it, maybe there's some spirits still hanging around that were a youth that attended that center or whatever you want to call it. So maybe Garfield can entice them to come out and talk or play.
Maybe so. Hope so.
Yes. So we have Garfield.
And everybody loved Garfield. Come on now.
Yes. He hates Mondays.
Yeah, he hates Mondays. That was one of the best things, Anybody who doesn't like Garfield, well, no hope.
Yeah, if you don't like Garfield, just leave the stream right now.
There you go.
Be gone. Yes, PNF loves Raggedy Ann and Andy. I do too. I have a huge collection. I have a Raggedy Ann that is almost as tall as me. It's huge. And Garfield is too cool. You're right. He's super cool.
And Donna, see, you're testing 1, 2, 3. Did you post something that we missed or didn't go through or something? If you did, say again.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, sometimes chat will do that. You'll hit enter and it won't go through. I've had that happen. So.
Maybe he means he wants me to test the toys. No. Okay, so I brought pickup sticks. This is an older game. I'm sure most of you are familiar with it, but I would say probably some of today's kids have never seen this. But you know, it was a game. I don't want to lose any of these sticks in the dark. You put the sticks out, you drop them out, and you try to move one stick without disturbing the rest of them, and you get to keep the stick that you get if you didn't disturb the other ones. But if you moved it, then you lose your turn, and you just keep going to see who collects the most pickup sticks. So I thought that maybe we could set this out somewhere and just leave it and go away and come back and see if anybody wants to play pickup sticks. You know, I mean, why not?
Yeah, I remember those.
And one of the houses, the big cedar house, we think it was a rec center. So there could be somebody around that might want to play.
Yeah.
You know,
and I think that's a good I think it's a good assessment, good possibility, because it kind of looks like that. It's a large house. It's the largest one out there, and there's a nice big level floor. So I think that's probably what it was.
This game's fun though. I mean, I worked at the YMCA for a long time, and this was early 2000s, and the kids were still playing this pretty hardcore. But more recently, when I worked at a daycare in the last few years, they don't know what this is anymore. So it's kind of faded out of existence.
Yeah, that's too bad. We used to play that in school.
Oh God.
Was,
I think it was just a pine cone.
Well, let's see. Make sure it isn't anybody. No.
Yeah.
Or something 4-footed.
Something just like.
Yeah, I didn't see it. May have been. I would say a moth, but it's
no, I didn't. I didn't see anything. I heard it. You didn't hear that?
No,
it was like a big rustle right in my ear.
No, and those kind of leaves right there wouldn't rustle like that.
So now I'm hearing things and you aren't.
Yeah, we're already hearing noises, so it begins.
It sounded like just
and there's no wind.
I don't know what it was, but it didn't sound too alarming. But I was just like, for a second, I'm getting psyched out already.
Yes, we haven't even started.
PNF said that was popular in the 80s. Yes, and the 80s was my childhood, and that's definitely when I started playing pickup sticks. Yes, and he is from the 60s, and he played pickup sticks as well, so it stuck around for a long time.
Yeah, they used to have that as one of the games to play when it was raining outside at recess in elementary school, and played it quite a bit.
Let's see what else I've brought in my fun bag of stuff. I have some little wind-up toys. Like, look at this guy. I don't really have a good surface for him, but he's like a boxer, and he walks along with his punching gloves. I thought we could put him on the floor and let him walk around. I just have some, run-of-the-mill stuff like people do. I have little balls to see if anybody wants to roll them. I also have a wind-up car somewhere in here. I think that would be fun.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, let me have fun with your little wind-up car. And these are all older. They're from the 80s mostly, the stuff I have right now. I have a little puzzle I can put out. I have cards. Might be interesting to see if we would just put some cards out, what might happen. Star Wars. Star Wars started in the 70s, so I've got some little tiny games. I've got like a miniature boggle. I've just some attractors, just see. I've got this is a miniature Trouble. Remember Pop-O-Matic Trouble?
Yeah. Love those.
It's cute.
Now, I've never seen a miniature one of those.
I don't know if I can get it to stop looking like a white blob, but there you go. You can see that. And this boggle is a miniature one too. So just cute little stuff like that. I have Yoda. I mean, gotta have Yoda, right? This was actually from quite some time ago. This was from, well, not like original Star Wars stuff, but this is from, I'd say 1997. Taco Bell had Star Wars things they gave away with a meal, and this was one of them. I do, if you don't like clowns, look away, because I have a clown. But I think he or she is pretty cute. This is kind of like a little bit like the Raggedy Ann, setting that out, but it's a clown, and it winds up, and it's from a long time ago, and it still works. This is made by Russ. Russ made all those troll dolls in the 80s. You remember the troll dolls? This is Russ too. Should I wind it up?
Sure.
There's something freaky about it. It doesn't just play music. I'll show you. You gotta watch closely. Look at the back of the head. Do you see it? Let me wind it up more.
Yeah, I can't see for the light. Oh, yeah.
It does a head roll. Heads will roll. So this is my clown friend. I think it's cute, but some people, they want nothing to do with clowns. They have clown phobia. How could you dislike this? It's so cute. It's my friend.
That's cool.
Uh-oh, PNF. See PNF? He says that is actually creepy. The head roll is a little bit creepy. It moves like slowly. It's like, I'm a clown on your shelf, like in Poltergeist. No, but yeah. It is cute, but creepy in this context. You are right, and that is one of the reasons why I brought it. Pam loves it. Don says it's creepy.
Yeah, and speaking of Don, I'd like to catch his comment before it disappears. What he had posted before, and I looked back through and it didn't come through. He said, "Very mysterious" is what I posted, talking about our location back here.
Oh, okay.
And so that's what he was doing the testing for. It's typical chat style. You know how it goes. Happens. So thanks for repeating that, Don. We appreciate it.
Yes. Okay, this thing is just gonna have to run its course. So if you hear background tinkly chimes, well, actually my mic is right here. Oh, I think it stopped. You could probably hear that, but I'm gonna set that down. Okay, look at this. You'll like this. Okay, I know that Dark doesn't actually deliver in a mail truck, but he does deliver mail for the U.S. Postal Service.
Actually, I do in a mail truck.
I thought you didn't.
No. We don't, our office doesn't have personal vehicles for delivery like most rural carriers do.
Really? Because I could have sworn I asked you before if you drove an actual mail truck.
Yeah. We have one for every route at our office, which is unusual for a rural office.
Yeah, I could have sworn you didn't, because like my mom, she used to deliver mail in this rural place outside of Richmond called Powhatan, and she had to use a vehicle with just a sign on the back that said "Caution, U.S. Mail, frequent stops."
Most, the overwhelming majority of rural carriers do. Somehow our office, sometime before I went to work there, came up. We only have 5 routes, and every one of them has a mail truck assigned to it. So it's just
okay. Well, then that's good. That's perfect.
Yes.
Okay, because I wanted to bring this because of you, because y'all. I mean, hopefully it's okay that I talk about that, but a lot of people probably don't know that you do deliver mail. You have a full-time job, like I have a full-time job. His delivering mail. So I brought this cute little thing. It's a Fisher Price, and it says mail on the side, and it's got like this. Well, he's balding, so I don't know if that looks like you, but
no.
He still has hair.
Thankfully, I've got a full head of hair.
Yeah, so I got this little guy. He's not the original driver, but yes, this is Fisher Price little mail truck. I figured I will set that out somewhere and maybe roll it or something like that. But yeah, this is the size that the original Fisher Price people were, but sometime later on they started making really big ones because they decided these were a choke hazard, even though like That's pretty big. But apparently kids were shoving them in their mouths, so they made the Fisher-Price ones after some year, I don't know when it was, like late 90s maybe, they started making them really big. But I have a bunch of these original ones, and I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with these, because these were, if you grew up in the 80s, 70s, I think they were around too a little bit, and 90s even. Every house had these pretty much. And if you didn't have them, probably your neighbor did. So letter carriers are heroes, in my opinion. PNF thinks very highly of you.
Oh, thank you, PNF. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
And he says he had this as a child, so that's cool. It's very cool.
But he also said he never tried to eat one.
That's good.
It's just
you
amazing.
Were a smart kid,
when
I guess.
Start making stuff like the choking hazards, this, that, and the other. And like, nobody even knew when I was a kid. Nobody I knew tried any of these things, so I don't know. I never tried to eat anything like that either.
I have a freaky looking little doll. Look at her. She's kind of funny looking. And I have a dino. You gotta have a dino, a T-Rex, right? Okay, so I know it looks like I'm ready to just go play and not like ghost hunt, but
well, if we don't get any activity, we can always have a good time playing.
These are my tools of the trade tonight. I have a couple other things that I'll just save for the video. I don't want to give all of it away right now, but you'll see some other things that I'm going to use tonight. I think that's all I'm going to share. I have some glow bracelets. I got to get that going. I'm going to get one going because these are cool.
Yeah, so anybody back here can find us easier.
We're gonna have flashlights, aren't we? I think they're gonna shine a bit more than this thing.
I wasn't planning on it.
You're just gonna walk. You're just gonna feel your way through the forest. It's like, oh, I know this tree. We're headed in the right direction.
Yeah, we've been here before. I mean, come on.
Yes.
Yeah, that's sure. That won't make any difference.
You guys know these things. They're fun.
That is one of the coolest inventions.
Let's turn the light out.
Yeah, lights out.
Ooh.
Oh, that's cool.
We're not going into the woods. We're going to a rave. Woo! A concert. Not really. Okay. I gotta get this going here. Ta-da! Lovely. Yes. Okay, I'm turning the light back on. We are not going to go for much farther with this, or much longer with this live stream, because we have to get back there. I've got to get my stuff organized again.
And it's about an hour's walk once we get started.
So we do have all night, but I'm ready to kind of get to it. I don't know about you.
We've got 6 places, so I think we're going to be pushing daylight as it is, because we want to do a good, thorough investigation. We want to take our time at each place and get plenty of evidence or nothing at all. That's one thing that we're very adamant about. We're not going to set Garfield up or anything else.
Where's the lasagna?
If we get nothing, then it'll be in the video. We got nothing.
Yes.
That's the way we are.
Yes, we're not going to fake anything tonight. We are, we're gonna get out there and see what we can see and experience what we can experience. It'll still be a video no matter what. I'm sure that it will be, if anything, I mean, we can just a night explore is always interesting to me. Everything looks different at night, even when you've been there before. You go back at night and it's like, I mean, one of the finest examples I have of that is the abandoned prison that's in Franklin from the 1930s that later became like a farmer's market kind of place. That place, I went there originally in the daytime, and it was a cool explore. It was just like, oh yeah, I can see this old equipment here. I can see these offices, and you know, I did kind of get a little bit of a creepy feeling the first time I went through there, like maybe somebody was watching me, but for the most part, it was just a lot of cool photo ops and everything because the sun was out, but I wasn't scared. Mm-hmm. And I rarely get scared at locations, to be honest. But I went back at night and I don't want to say terrified, but it was so scary. It was like, I know this place, I know where everything is, I know where to go, I know what's around the next corner, but I'm hearing doors open and shut. I'm hearing footsteps. I'm hearing things on the roof. It was, you know, the same familiar place, but I was really scared. And then when I got home and reviewed the footage, there was voices like EVPs on the video footage, all kinds of stuff that was just like, wow, it was a totally different place at night. So even if we don't get a lot of activity here, just looking around, I think is going to be interesting enough.
I think so.
Yep. So we are going to wrap up this stream in a few minutes. If you have any last minute questions or comments, like we will entertain them now before we end the live stream.
Yeah, we need to take questions that anybody may have. And hello, John.
John is here. Hey.
So at least it isn't raining like
no,
it was when we went.
It's good weather. Kidding. It's not too cold. That was miserable. And it's dry.
But it was great ambiance, though. It was a rainy, foggy night. I mean, the videos turned out great on it, but oh my goodness, that was a mess. It rained on us the whole time. The only time we were had any relief from it was when we were in one of the houses, and oh man. So yeah, that's a plus. Weather-wise, we hit it just right. The low temperature is supposed to be in the upper 50s, perfect tonight, and yes. So I think we'll have a great time and hopefully get some good activity.
Pino says he had a scared feeling or a feeling. Was it a scared feeling like you were creeped out, or did you mean a feeling like someone was watching you? He says he had a creepy feeling at a jail in Williamsburg, Virginia. I'm familiar with Williamsburg. I'm from Richmond, so when I was a kid, we used to go on field trips to Williamsburg, and also Busch Gardens was fun. Good luck, guys. Yeah. Thank you. We are going to need some luck tonight. Nice fall weather, yes.
And John said about died when going down the mountain. What he's talking about is when we left, we got back to our cars. Ultimately, the whole top of the mountain over here was socked in with fog, and the visibility was literally zero. You could not see it. Past the hood of your car was impossible. It was ridiculous, And we had thought about just staying, but we left anyway. Which might not have been the best idea in the world.
Georgina, long time no see. Thank you for dropping in.
Georgina's here. Cool.
She says, good luck, spooky in the woods at the best of times.
Yes, it is. Everything changes at night.
Yes, it's going to be quite an adventure. I know I kind of hyped things up on my trailer, which I figured out a way to play on the live stream. So I'm going to, when we sign out, I'm going to play the trailer that I made about this night. I mean, a lot of you have probably already seen it, but in case you haven't, I did create an overly dramatic trailer about tonight's events. It airs on the side of like, like maybe this might be a Blair Witch situation. Only their footage was found. Hopefully that won't happen. But I was kind of I was adding in a lot of woods and seeing the building. Like there's a house in Blair Witch where everything sort of happens at the end and all that. I was kind of getting that feeling when I was making the trailer, but it wasn't meant to be quite that scary. And Dirk looks scary in it. I only showed him for like half a second, but he's like scary.
Yeah, it's like portraying me as hell.
I know, he's not supposed to be the scary one.
Yeah, really.
I didn't mean it like that. He's not scary. The woods will be scary. That clown is playing again. You hear it?
Yes, things are starting.
It was off, but it turned on and started playing again. So they're ready for us.
Yes, they are.
look out, who is that behind y'all? Well, actually, if someone's sneaking up behind me, I can probably see them, but not till they're right up on me because it's pretty dark back there.
Okay, John, I'll bite.
Just woods. Georgina says she has been watching my videos. Thank you. I appreciate that. Gail says enjoy and be safe. I will put something up on Facebook tomorrow on the Retromantic page. So if you are on Facebook and you follow the Retromantic, you'll see something there. If you don't follow me, come on over and follow. I'll put up something tomorrow saying we made it out of the woods, we're okay, like, I will do that so people don't worry. I can put it on my community tab too. That might be better so that all the YouTube folk can see it, but I will let you guys know how we fared.
And just for everybody concerned, we've taken plenty of precautions. I've taken more precautions than normal because it's at night. We're going to be all night. We have provisions. We can ration provisions out for several days. If we get back here and something does happen where we can't get back out, we can last several days. I want to pick up some water at a creek that we cross in here, so we'll have water, and there's plentiful water on at the last house. There's a big creek back there, and I won't get into it all, but there are plenty of precautions being taken for safety and well-being, and so I think we're going to be good. We've been back here several times, no issues, but like I said, extra precautions because it is at night.
We do have we have a level of protection too with us. I guess I won't go into detail, but we do have some protection should something be awry, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and a lot of other things too, just to make sure. Upgraded my first aid kit, and for example, to include more things in case something happens, like an accident or something like that. So I think we're set. I think we're in good shape on that. So that was just letting everybody know safety and well-being is number one. And if it gets to be where we think it's unsafe, we'll abort and come back.
Yes.
We're not going to go taking chances. But the fact that we've been here several times helps. We're already familiar with the lay of the land, and so I think we'll be good.
Fingers crossed.
And my toes too.
Yes. Yes, we are hoping for a successful night. We are hoping for some, I guess, friendly activity, or whatever we can get, I guess. And I'm looking forward to it. And I'm thinking now's the time to go ahead and end the stream and get down to business.
That's right. Get down to hiking and hunting.
Hunting?
Hunting.
Did you bring your rifle?
Ghost hunting.
Oh, not that kind of hunting. Okay, I gotcha.
She likes messing with me.
We're gonna play
that's all right.
If we get bored, we're gonna play pickup sticks, okay?
That's right. And when we get back to one of those houses, there's a sorry game back there. We can do that.
But no parts. I should have brought the parts.
Yes, you should.
Next time we'll play pickup sticks though. 60s versus 80s, kid.
Yeah. I will have no mercy.
We'll see. We'll see.
Here we go. Here we go.
Alrighty, folks. I got my bag. My cute little bag from the 80s. And I've got a backpack too with all my video equipment and everything. I'm more than ready. I think we're going to, I'm going to say call it a night, but we're definitely not doing that. The night is just beginning.
Yes.
Enjoy hiking and playing pickup sticks. Thank you, PNF. Dawn says, have fun tonight. Yes, it's a very nice bag. Gotta go retro with everything.
Of course.
Alrighty, folks. As always, thank you for joining me tonight. I appreciate you coming to the stream. It was good to see everybody. It's okay if you don't do Facebook. I will put up on the community tab, I will put the information up that we are safe. So you should see it like on your feed on YouTube. Or if you don't see it, go to my YouTube channel, The Retromantic, and click the community tab. You can see updates there. So I'm going to put, hey, we're out of the woods, we're safe, all that. I'll put that on there tomorrow. So
yeah, I don't think notifications go out for the community tab at all.
No, it should bring it up if you scroll on like your home or whatever. I don't know where exactly it puts it, but
if you're subscribed to the channel, what it'll do when you scroll on your phone, you'll go by it, you'll see it as a separate window when you get to Retromantic's channel, but notifications don't go out.
Yeah, so just if you don't see it, just look on the community tab, and if you don't see it, we're not out yet, or we disappeared, never to be heard from again.
And you will see our footage sometime when somebody finds it.
Yes, like 20 years from now.
Which is about when Retro will get it edited and up there anyway, so.
Okay, we are done. I am going to end the stream with the trailer. All right, everybody ready? Let's say goodbye now.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We enjoyed having you.
Yes, thank you for joining us. Let me see if I can do this fancy new video stuff that StreamYard has decided to let me do. All righty. Here we go. Here's the night. Here's what's to come. Y'all ready? Here we go. Okay, so that was fun. I didn't realize we were still going to be on the screen, so we had a little bit of fun with that. All right, folks, that is it. We are out of here. We will get in touch with you tomorrow. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, bye, everybody.
Good night.
We hope to see you soon.